Have you ever looked in the mirror and just wondered, what's really going on when our hair starts to go gray? We all just blame it on age or stress, but the actual biology behind it, it's way more interesting than you think. So today, we're going to dive deep into the science of why hair loses its color and see what the latest research is telling us.
It's something that happens to pretty much everyone, but for most of us, it's still a total puzzle. Is it something you can't avoid? Is it permanent? And what's the actual biological switch that flips our hair from color to gray? Okay, let's just get right to it, because this is the million-dollar question, isn't it? For as long as I can remember, the answer was always a hard no. Once a hair follicle goes gray, that's it, game over. But what if that's not the whole story? And this is where things get really, really cool. New science is starting to peek behind the curtain at what's happening inside our cells. And it looks like the story of gray hair isn't some final destination. It's more like a biological battle that's happening inside every single one of us. Now get ready for this, because it's a wild one. The reason your hair might be turning gray is because you have a tiny bleach factory running inside your own body. I know, it sounds crazy, but the science behind it is surprisingly simple.
So we always connect gray hair with getting older, but age itself isn't the direct cause. It's a huge factor, for sure, but it's really just a sign that a very specific chemical process in our bodies is starting to get a little less efficient over time.
And here it is. The bad guy in this story is hydrogen peroxide. Yep, the exact same stuff you find in a bottle of hair bleach. What's incredible is that our own bodies produce it naturally. It's a totally normal byproduct. It's happening to all of us right this second.
So how does this whole internal bleaching thing actually work? Well, it's basically a three-step process happening right at the root of your hair. First, that hydrogen peroxide starts to build up inside the hair follicle. Then that buildup gets in the way, and it stops the cells from making melanin, which is the pigment that gives your hair its color. The final result? The hair gets bleached from the inside before it even has a chance to grow out.
But hold on a minute. If we're all walking around producing this stuff, why isn't our hair just white from the day we're born? Well, that's because our bodies are pretty brilliant. We've got a built-in defense system, like our very own cleanup crew, that's designed to deal with this exact problem.
And this is our defense squad right here. Our body produces these amazing things called antioxidant enzymes. Their whole job is to hunt down hydrogen peroxide and just neutralize it, breaking it down into harmless water and oxygen. So the real reason we go gray isn't just because the peroxide is there, it's because this cleanup crew starts to slow down over time, letting the peroxide build up and win the fight.
So that leads to a pretty obvious question, right? If the problem is our defenses are getting weaker, the solution has to be to make them stronger. And it turns out, the research points to a really powerful two-pronged attack to help our bodies fight back.
So if we want to boost our defenses, science points to this awesome two-pronged attack. On one side, we've got a way to help the body clean up the damage that's already there. And on the other, we have a way to give our defenses the fuel they need to get the job done. Let's break them both down.
Okay, let's start with that first one, the cleanup process. It's called autophagy. Now, I know it sounds super complicated, but this recycling program analogy is perfect. Things like intermittent fasting can actually kickstart this deep cellular cleaning. Your body goes in and starts clearing out old, damaged cell parts and other gunk. By doing that, you basically free up your body's resources so it can focus on other things, like, say, neutralizing the hydrogen peroxide in your hair.
All right, now for part 2 of our attack, giving that cleanup crew the fuel it needs. And the answer is surprisingly simple, and it all comes down to this number. What on earth could you do with just 1 or 2 of something each day?
Brazil nuts. That's it, just 1 or 2 a day. So why Brazil nuts? Well, they are an absolute powerhouse of selenium. And selenium is the crucial mineral your body needs to actually build those antioxidant enzymes we've been talking about. It's literally like giving your internal cleanup crew the best tools for the job.
So let's pull all this together. When you really look at the science, it totally changes how you think about gray hair. It's not just some passive sign that you're getting older. It's the result of a very active, ongoing biological process.
It all boils down to this little loop. Peroxide builds up, the enzymes that are supposed to clear it out can't keep up, and as a result, the pigment that colors our hair gets blocked. Once you understand this loop, you start to see gray hair not as something that's inevitable, but maybe as an imbalance that we can actually influence.
And honestly, this is the most powerful idea of all. This new science isn't really about some anti-aging crusade to stop all damage. It's about shifting to a pro-repair mindset. The whole goal is to support and boost our body's amazing natural ability to fix itself.
Which leaves us with a pretty exciting final thought, doesn't it? This research completely reframes something as normal as going gray. So if we can apply this proactive, pro-repair way of thinking to the aging of our hair, you gotta wonder, what other parts of aging are we ready to rethink next?